Okay, Phoebe is exiting the room. The podcast is officially back. I'd like to introduce you to somebody I haven't seen a lot. Her name is Corrie, I think, Corrie Mira. But welcome to the podcast.
Who are you? Okay, guys, in my adult life...
There was the natural pause that you didn't do. Now I'm going to have to... If you're hearing this, I put the natural pause in because Corrie doesn't stop talking.
Okay, I have not taken a break from Heather. And let me tell you, breaks are needed.
Not for me, lack of trying to get you to stay away.
But this is the longest in my adult life. I have not physically seen Heather for 2 whole weeks. My second chapter of my life has begun.
So how's been your hiatus?
From the podcast?
Yeah, I don't know. From me, from the podcast.
I feel like people didn't care about the podcast because it was already readily available. Then these past 2 weeks we've slacked.
People love the podcast. I think people thought we've quit and finally got tired of each other.
But now people are listening to the podcast. Just so you know, we can see the weekly downloads from podcast listens each week.
Super creepy.
But sometimes I'm like, wow, people are really tired of us.
Yeah, let's just be honest. You guys weren't listening to us in December. Yeah, we're doing it.
But we're back. So Heather, this is the intro. If someone's just tuning in for the first time, first off, they've just wasted the last 2 minutes of their life.
Sorry, we're never going to get those back.
But tell them who we are, what we do, what we hope to accomplish, and that's it.
Well, I'm Heather. I sound kind of nasally. I had a head cold. It wasn't COVID. Thought it was. Acted like a big old baby. Turns out I just can't handle tissues. But you can tell us apart because I sound sultry.
Can you tell me who we are?
Yeah, get to it. I'm the favorite choice. This is Sugar Cookie Marketing Group's podcast. The Sugar Cookie Marketing Group just passed over 30,000 people.
I know. I was so excited to get to 30,000 that I was truly reading everyone's entry questions, being like, if they even look like they have a pulse, they're in.
Susan Reed, get your butt in here.
But we passed 30,000 in the quietness of the night. But we didn't just pass it by 2 people. We passed it by 173.
Right. So 30,173 people have gathered themselves together to learn more about selling effectively online, mostly sugar cookies, but we do have our cakers and our bakers and our macaroon people, and the schmello people are getting in there. And then I would like to see a bigger growth of the pretzel people. I would like pretzel life.
Yeah.
I would love to eat a pretzel. But basically in the group, we just talk about marketing strategies. I know Valentine's Day is coming up, so a lot of that, it's
game time, man. Game time.
Christmas was the Super Bowl. If Christmas were the Super Bowl of cookies, what's the playoffs? Is that, 2 different sports? We're talking about 2 different sports.
Sounds great to me.
Anyways, you hit the home run in the soccer bowl. And that would be Valentine's Day. So what we cover in the podcast today is just various marketing things. From Facebook ads and Facebook posts and copy. Again, a lot of it's social media. That's where marketing is right now. TikTok is a new thing. Love it, hate it, love to hate it. And then websites and stuff like that. Very many options to sell online. But the goal is to help people sell online more effectively because then you can reach your goals and you can kind of scale. Gone are the days that you have to wait for the farmer's market alone each week and just hope people show up. Now you can proactively take a role in driving traffic online and foot traffic, if that be to a farmer's market, but you can do it in a real strategic way. Is that good?
I feel like that was the whole podcast.
Sorry, Corrie walked away halfway through me saying this to go see her cat got shaved today.
My cat, I have
a spring shave,
smushed face cat. He's so cute, but he's considered a long hair.
Can we say he's cute or he's uniquely ugly?
No, he's my baby cake.
He's so ugly, came back around to uniquely cute.
His name is Fuzz Aldrin, but he really, truly did need a shave because he is long-haired and the hair is everywhere. So he just got the biggest shave of his
He barely has face hair left because apparently he had 2 mats behind his ears.
Oh, he's so cute.
Okay, so Corrie, walk us through what people are about. We've just wasted 5 minutes of their lives. Okay. What's the itinerary of this podcast?
You're experiencing the intro. I apologize for it. Then we go to the marketing minutes, head off to the races with the business of baking, and the word that it says is VoIP. So we'll learn that one together.
Sounds so fancy.
VoIP. Then we go to course coverage because we have a course and we like to cover it. Voicemails. You guys did a good job and called and texted in. Then we have group stuff. Twinterests. Mine is very blank down there. And then sponsors.
The mailbag
and I never went there. I totally forgot.
Where you live next to it.
Oh, yeah, but I'm okay. When I go check the mail, Heather put it under her name. I am not Heather,
We
even though we
literally
look the same.
look like a carbon
When I
copy
walk
of
in
each
there,
other.
you do have to present your ID if they ask.
They don't ask.
But I always am like, they're going to ask. So I like have my thumb placed over my name so you can always see the E at the end.
So no mailbag this time. Corey has made sure that we do.
I will
Anyways,
do it.
the marketing minutes.
Oh, okay. That's me.
Yeah.
I never
I'm looking
started.
at you. Please take it away.
Okay, in the Cookie College, let me just explain that if you're just hearing for the first time. It's this group you cannot join. I'm just kidding. The Cookie College is a part of the courses that we offer. So if you sign up for our course, you get this super private, super cool, super elitist Facebook group.
That is not what it is. It's
Super
just the best thing
chill.
nobody can get.
This Facebook group. Why we don't have the Facebook group just within Sugar Cookie Marketing is because we get to dive deeper in the Cookie College because it's a lot smaller. So
what do you do? And all I can remember from the last podcast is that it was a complete hard sell for this, and here we are again.
Hey man, New Year it is. I'm back. Okay, but in the Cookie College, Mike had a great topic. And I said, hey, this would be an awesome topic to bring up on the podcast. More spitballing and having an idea than necessarily just saying, this is the hard way to do it. Because you can do it either way, and neither way is wrong.
I'm at the edge of my rocking chair right now.
This is called marketing. But it is, should you use I or we when talking in your business, like on social media posts, emails, and things like that? It was a great topic of conversation to see what was going through people's minds when they chose which side that they chose.
For an example, if anyone isn't understanding what she's saying, when you go to write on Facebook, do you say, we're really excited to introduce you to our Valentine's Day lineup, or do you say, I'm really excited to introduce you to my Valentine's Day lineup, or, you know?
Right. So it was pretty even, Steven. A lot of people were saying, well, my husband helps out, so that's why I choose we. Someone says, I think of my business as a separate person from me. So when I think it, I'm thinking myself plus my business, that equals we. Someone put me on blast and says, Corey says I. I said, oh, crap, I'm missing what I mean.
You always write in first person.
So the reason why I write in first person is because we are in a relationship-based market.
Did you add a T to the
I
end
did.
of relationship?
Oh, man.
How are you going to look at me like I wasn't going to say anything?
Can you edit it out?
Good luck on your relationships. No, we're leaving.
Heather has just one of those normal relationships without the T. She has to earn that higher one. The reason why I choose I in my relationship is because I want to be closer to my target audience. When Heather and I are marketing for businesses, we truly take on a voice of their company.
We'll talk to them about it, about
Absolutely.
what they'd like us to. How would you like us to represent your brand? Are you a we group or are you an I group?
Yeah. So when we deal with real estate agents, this was the best
That's a
analogy
good
I could
example.
come with. A brokerage firm, they want to sound big. They want to sound we. They want to sound like they have a lot of dollars, a lot of leads, a lot of houses moving through their brokerage. So they tend to choose we because there is confidence in we when thinking about that. There's money,
Numbers.
there's people, and things like that. If you're just joining a brokerage and someone was like, I can't wait to have you here.
There's not going to be two of us.
There's two. But when a real estate agent markets, they tend to use I.
Because even if they are a brand, they're hiring the agent. Even though the agent may have more people around them, a secretary, admin assistant, you are truly hiring a single person. And that's where their brand strength comes from.
Yeah,
is
so-
being this one person that knows everything.
Imagine that first-time home buyers. They're scared. They've never done this thing. And this is going to be the biggest purchase of their entire life. And they want someone by
Do
their
they
side.
have a strong relationship with each other?
I'm hoping so, man. They want someone by their side. So when we are marketing for real estate agents, we tend to use I because we want the distance between the customer and the real estate agent to seem short. We don't want them to feel like a number, like, oh, our social media team is going to help you here. When we're speaking on behalf, like say if a first-time home buyer emails a real estate agent's page, we pretend to be the agent. Hello.
That's some great jokes. Those agents are hilarious.
But what it's doing is building a relationship with that potential buyer and customer. And they don't feel like just a number or that they were given off to, the admin assistant or anything like that, because it is very much relationship based. When it comes to a bakery, at some point, as just me, a home baker, I have limitations. I do not have a commercial kitchen. I do not have a team behind me. It's truly what these God-given hands can do in 24 hours. So because of that, I want to form a relationship with my end user. I want them to know that when they are messaging me, the baker is talking to them. And that is why I choose to say I when referencing things in social media or when someone messages in, when I send out a newsletter campaign and things like that.
You sending out a newsletter campaign?
You are doing it for me.
I am. Not we.
Good thing we're the same person. When we are marketing for something that is big, something that, like, let's take, for instance, either, HVAC company or a remodeling company, and they're dealing with a lot of dollars. There's confidence in the word we. If I'm like, hey,
you don't want
I would
to fly
like,
by night out of your van guy.
Yeah, like this one guy just took $250,000 from me, and I'm hoping I get a bump out in a kitchen somewhere in there. That's when we would tend to use we. And there truly is a team behind the we. So banks like to say we. It feels like, oh, if I bank with them, they're not going to steal my money and close tomorrow.
You can feel free to bank with I.
And I
will be going on a shopping trip.
So I thought it was a very interesting conversation and something that you should think about if you're just starting a
Here's
business.
some alternatives. Okay, if you are a we. Corrie and I are a we, technically.
True.
Unfortunately, I've been trying to get rid of her for years.
2 weeks felt way
just
too
your,
good.
Oh, yeah. Can I just, little sidebar? I hope everyone enjoyed the new jazzy intro. But
yeah.
Corrie wrote last night again, typo, ho.
I still
H-O-E,
how
wrong.
again.
In the court. So today I grabbed her phone as soon as she entered and I changed. So now when she types HOE, it forces it back over to
Yeah, because never in my life have I really, I'm not a gardener. So I honestly am not
phone
missing
is like,
out.
this girl's got a new hobby. We're leaning into it.
Okay, so there is
I want to say
studies.
some options.
Okay.
So Corrie and I are we, but sometimes when I post a sugar cookie marketing as myself, which is Heather talking, I'll say when it's my face in a TikTok, I'll say, I said this to Corrie the other day. And then I'll talk, even though we are a we brand and we do reference each other as a we when we talk as a whole, for that piece of content, I can be the I.
And truly, I mean, it's few and far between, but some people do like Heather more than me, and I know. There's two of you out there.
I like to talk to you guys specifically.
But it's good that Heather can say I because she can connect with those two people that like her more than me.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Dad. Okay, there are studies shown that not using we actually has led to a percentage increase in sales because you have now created a relationship. I'm going to let the cat out.
Okay, Phoebe is trying to, the cat man. But a great point. Now, what I've seen with bigger brands today, Corrie, try not to slam that door. So this new thing I've seen, Corrie, and I'm sure you've seen it as well on TikTok, these big brands. Okay. So think,
Pepsi,
Tide and Pepsi.
Yes.
So they've done this thing. Of course they're a we. They're a billion-dollar conglomerate. And I know it's completely manufactured, but it is genius. They're acting like their TikTok persona is this single intern.
Yes.
Who's suffering just like the common, person who hates their job, the millennial who's suffering. And they'll type in as I'm just here. Like when you see Tinder type on a dating story, I'm just here for the popcorn.
Yeah.
You're talking Tinder, a huge company.
And those comments, while also funny, get tons and tons of likes.
Because you can relate to the lowly paid intern who's just trying, Ryanair. I don't know who they
Heather
are.
loves it. Please look it up.
It's like an airline out of England that's really affordable. But Ryanair was one of the first companies I kind of see capitalize on this lowly intern thing. So yesterday they posted, the meme is so far beyond me, I didn't really understand it. It's something to do with that
Ryanair.
No, it's that game that people play where you kind of beat people up and steal their cars.
Oh.
Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I kind of feel like don't go low. Grand Theft Auto. But he's basically showing you his text between him and his manager. And the manager said, I don't get what the last meme is. Stop posting about it. Just make the next one go viral. And he's asking everybody, can you guys help me?
Oh, that's hilarious. But and people are coming to his aid.
Because it's a relationship with whoever this kid is at Ryanair. But when in actuality, I guarantee you it's a large team of people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 1,000%.
Now something I've also seen, like I like following Social Media Examiner and Search
Right.
Engine Land. So they'll write their post, but they'll sign it.
Yes, with like Scott.
Yeah, so it'll be
Same
like,
one.
hey, why are you guys using TikTok in 2022? Signed, Josh.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting way to do it. If you have a team of people, but you want to seem more like, closer. If you are working with your husband or your wife and you're running the page today, you could start signing it yourself.
If I do remember correctly, I think in Facebook Messenger, you can actually have it sign off as the person who's typing. So it's a Heather
That'd be
Miracle.
nice.
If I can remember. Don't quote me on that. Please don't text in because it's not a real thing.
You mentioned on the podcast once.
But using the I versus the we, it is a personal choice. And either way you choose is not wrong. The reason why in baking, I went to say, hey guys, here's what I'm getting ready to offer you. I've built a relationship. When I share a picture of my son, they know it's me talking to them and we can connect on those realms. I don't know. To me, I love saying I
like a mix of it. For the brands that we work with that are maybe a little less give me a hug when you see me, we works a lot better.
When you're dealing with bigger money, bigger projects.
What I've seen kind of a cool thing, especially on TikTok, is these small business owners. Like there's this guy, I'm sure if you're on TikTok, you've watched him. He tells you about washing machines.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. He's a guy who owns a small business. I think they're based out of Canada. I just watch a lot of them. I don't even own a washing machine.
I'm too scared to clean out the filter.
Don't clean. I couldn't imagine what they're in there looking like.
I think all my socks.
Yeah, so instead of being, even though his company is a we, he's created the brand around himself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like anybody else is on it, but he is a knowledge expert. And when I see his face, I know it's going to be about washing machines.
Yeah.
That's another option for people.
It adds, you are the knowledge expert. And I truly do take his words to heart because he's not like saying, we read this manual this morning.
Right. It's more personable. He's still a we, but he speaks as the I. So there's just like a couple of options for people
To
when
help
they're
you
coming
decide,
out with their branding.
Right. To help you decide what your branding is going to be. If you have a team, there is on TikTok, where I've spent a lot of time as well, there is this baker. She makes, it's not gourmet donuts, but she calls
is she from Las Vegas?
yeah. What is?
Oh my goodness.
What does she
You must be
call?
watching her now.
Couture donuts.
And she said, I know couture is about fashion. I watched the whole thing yesterday, too. Goodness,
But
get out of
she
my
is
algorithm.
The brand. She's the brand face, and she says, here's what we do, but she also says I often too. So when I think of her, I can't tell you the name of her bakery, but I can tell you if I saw a picture of her, I'd be like, oh, she's the couture donut lady.
In Las Vegas. Sorry for the ambient noise of cat hair being cleaned up, but we're back.
We're back.
So if it was you, if you could give an industry standard recommendation for people, how would you what person would you use and what tense?
I would say in the bakery realm, since it's you against the world, I would choose I. So you can have a closer relationship to your customers. Right now, there's so many bakers around me that also make amazing sugar cookies. Also, that sounds like I make amazing. They also are okay, I guess. But so the one thing that's going to separate me from, all of our ingredients are flour, sugar, and eggs.
Most of it from diet.
So the one thing that can set me apart is having that relationship with that customer, because if they are like, oh no, Corey's my baker, that's what I want them to say. And I want to have that personal relationship. So when they're commenting on social media, they know it's me behind that keyboard, even if it's you.
Now, I would say if you had a brick and mortar bakery, you could possibly type in as a we and then nominate someone in your bakery to kind of be the face of the brand, whether it be the owner or your social media person, to kind of be like, hey guys, I'm taking you through the bakery today. I'm going to show you what Lisa's working on
and
in
you
the
can
kitchen.
have, that would be honestly great for content buckets. Like you have Jody's Day.
Oh, that'd be a cool
Matt's
idea.
Day.
Because each of them is going to have a personality. Now, the things you got to think of, and we find this with some of our, if they get fired or they quit, is you're going to have a little bit of gap there. So something to keep in mind before you let everyone have your password to your Instagram.
Yes. So I do, honestly, I like those two options. No one's wrong for whatever they choose. I just loved that conversation behind it because it was so interesting to see what people were choosing and things like that.
Yeah. It's how can you be most relatable? Because we buy from people we relate to. But at the end of the day, if you're going to buy a Toyota, you don't need Mr. Toyota to say, like, here's the Toyota I
Can I
drive.
just say, when I sold cars, they trained us to pretend it was us and the customer against the dealership. So they were like, yeah, but I want this. Hey, I don't know, but I'm going to go ask. I'm going to see what I can do for you guys. Guys, I want you to leave with this car. It's a man over there that's making it difficult.
You got to get that person.
So it was like almost like same side. So it was us against the dealership. So they felt like, no, Corrie would never do that to us and charge extra fees.
Oh, you sound evil with that, I'll be honest. Okay, that's a great concept. Very nice. If somebody's thinking about rebranding or you're trying to brush up your brand in 2022, I'd start with kind of coming up with your voice. How are you going to speak? What's your personality? A lot of people just kind of close their eyes and hit the keyboard, but I like to say, hey, if this brand is going to be humorous, is this brand going to be knowledgeable? And that doesn't mean you can't be humorous if you're a knowledgeable brand. It's like the world realizes we're about to film this podcast and the mailmen, the mowers, it's like middle of winter. They're starting to mow again just because
they left that little patch.
Because they have a podcast patch. Okay, that's great.
Heather's eating a cookie, so she's trying to struggle.
Okay, we can pause this podcast to let the sound. But then, yeah, I found one of Corrie's cookies. She made it as an ego pose anyway. She just...
needed content. I needed content.
I finally got back on my shindig. It's too cold for people to want to get one free cookie from Corrie's porch. So I'm back in the run, guys. Business of baking. This is actually a college class I'm working on, but it's a great topic. So voice over IP is VoIP. Short term, we call it VoIP, right? Mm-hmm. What is it? Do you need it? I have a phone already. You would want to use a voice over IP number, which means phone over the internet.
Explain what even it is. I have a cell phone. That's all I know. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Have you ever called, and I know you have no friends, but have you ever tried to attempt to call someone on Facebook Messenger?
On accident.
Okay, great. Those butt dials count. Great. That is calling someone over the internet. A phone call, voice is transferred just like a cell phone, but it's using data, not cellular. Oh. So when you get on an airplane,
yeah,
of which I had another Southwest hostage situation.
She signed up for this one or something.
This is outrageous. But when you get on an airplane, it says put your phone into airplane mode. You're turning off cellular.
Yeah, it makes my heart sad.
But if you get on Southwest, Mr. Southwest, if you'd like to call me, I got some words. If you get on a Southwest plane, it says, do you want to still text? Well, texting SMS is over cellular, so how can you text? But when you open it up, it's through iMessage. iMessage is a little bit different, but the concept being if you can open WhatsApp, you're on data plan, not a cellular plan. Do you remember back when we were growing up and it was, oh, it's magic? And you could call long distance over VoIP, voice over IP. We lost her. But you know what I'm saying is if you took your cell phone and called long distance, that's extremely expensive. At least it was when we were growing up.
$1,000,000,000.
Now you can call someone over the internet, and it is $0 because you're using the same The fact that we have Australians in the Facebook group is the same technology you'd use to use voice over IP phones.
Okay, I'm so ready for this lesson now with that backstory.
Does that make sense? So when we tell you to call into the podcast, that is over IP. That is a voice over IP line.
Now explain it.
Okay. I thought I just did.
Yeah, but you said no, just tie it in, baby girl.
Okay, when somebody calls us on the podcast, how do you get notified about it?
On Tuesday, someone calls.
We get an email.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and when somebody texts, you get an email.
We get an email. Yeah. Guys, I have not gotten many emails lately.
I set up a filter so it puts them in a special folder to clean up the inbox. So when people call or text in, what I can actually also have it do is actually ring my phone. But again, our promise is that we'll never answer. Mm-hmm. What we could do is say, hey, when you call in, instead of getting hit with a voicemail, you can call into Heather's cell phone. But if you're a small business and you don't want people to know your personal cell phone number, what do you do?
Yeah, what do I do?
You have 2 options. You can either buy an extra family plan line, which is what we do for our day job. But now I have to worry about that device, the device's security.
It's dying.
I have to carry it with me wherever I go. I got to update it.
All the spam that it gets called on that is insane.
Right. So that's something that we do for our day job. But for Sugar Cookie Market, we got tired. Corrie.
Someone's going to
We're so close, man.
Okay.
So for Sugar Cookie Marketing, we didn't want another cell phone because it just gets expensive because we're taking our old, these cell phones are $1,000.
Yeah, that work phone that never gets used is a lot of money.
Yeah, so I looked up what the used version of that work phone. At this point, it's $250.
Whoa!
And then the monthly T-Mobile plan. Granted, we have some discounts because Corey's husband's a police officer. Is around $25 is what it is with the discount. It's $40 without it.
Wow.
So you're paying $40 and you have to manage this device. It is a good option. It's obviously good enough that we use it. But for sugar cookie marketing, how many phones are we going to have lying around? It just was too many. So we said, let's do a voice over IP number. We use Callfire. Google Voice is another option. None of them are free anymore. Google Voice was at one time
free for a long time, and I have made so many fake numbers on there.
Right. So, right. That's probably why they were like, we got to surcharge. So when you call into the podcast, Corey and I have pre-recorded our voicemail through an external audio device, which is the same thing we record the podcast on. We set up the voicemail. We set an away message. We do not have call forwarding, but if we did, Corey's phone would ring, and right before you hear it, it would be like, this is for Sugar Cookie Marketing. Then when she answers it, she knows to answer not as Corey Miracle, but as Corey with Sugar Cookie Marketing.
Yeah, and it's going straight to my personal cell phone.
Right.
Without revealing my personal cell phone number.
Right. So then that way, for Sugar Cookie Marketing, if you look up any of our social profiles, that voice over IP number is the one that we publish. Here's the catches with that is we pay monthly for it. But it is $10 a month, and we pay by credit. Now, I compared the plans. We pay $10 a month just for the phone number. And then we pay credits for 6 cents text or a minute.
Yeah, so when you guys wish us happy birthday.
That ate up a ton of them.
Cost us a bundle.
I love spending money on that. Google Voice is $10 a month, but you also are required now to have a workspace plan at $6 a month.
So you're at 16.
But you're unlimited otherwise. So it's not pay as you go.
Oh, no credits and everything like that.
Right.
Which one do you think is more benefit? It depends your volume, I guess.
Right off the bat, because I'm really into Google Voice, I do think it has a couple features that I wish Callfire had. One of the big ones being an app. Callfire, you log into the web client from your phone. You can manage it there. It's not the end of the world.
Can you do it on your phone?
There's no app. You're just going to www.
I see.
And then Google Voice does have the app. Both of them do transcribed voice messages.
Yeah, they do.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But Google Voice also integrated with your Google Calendar to force your phone to turn off at certain times. So it would go from forwarding to voicemail after hours.
Oh, that's nice. Hey, boundary, a built-in boundary.
Yeah, so if you don't want to take calls after 5, you tell Google Workspace, your calendar, no calls after 5, and Google Voice integrates with that.
Would it ring your phone, or would it send them instantly to voicemail so you would
instantly
not be disturbed?
to voicemail? You're not being disturbed. Otherwise, you would just let it ring and go to voicemail.
Yeah, I know, but that's so stressful just to have your phone like light up like that.
But now imagine like a Google over a voice message says, hey, I know you're calling in for cookies. I can't take your order right now, but I'll return your call tomorrow at 8. Now you can have 2 voicemails set up on one phone. Technically, you have your personal number.
One that says, please do not call me.
Yeah, mine literally says, can you just send me a text? Like, don't even leave the voicemail. I'm not going to check it. I'm sweatily going to delete it. So yeah, voice over IP numbers are a great solution when you're still available to take calls and texts, but you don't want to give them your personal number because then you're having to deal with that. Now, another thing about voice over IP that I do like is text campaigns. So Corey and I use these. We do use a Sugar Cookie Marketing number for Sugar Cookie classes.
It's okay.
Because when we have a DIY kit pickup day, I schedule it ahead of time. So when people place their orders, they have to give their phone number, and then they'll go and they'll get a text that morning scheduled through a voice over IP interface where I can drop in their information, and then they can get that text at a designated time and a recurring text if I'd like. So ask yourself, well, price it out, I guess. $10 a month, $120 a year. On Google Voice, you're looking at $16 a month. Pretend I did that math in my head and came up with the number of that times 12. And then in a Callfire, you're dealing with pay as you go. So I think I purchased credits. It was like $30 for 300 credits, and it took us a year to use them.
And this is passive. It's not necessarily like customers are calling and you guys are calling in.
I'd much prefer a customer end up on email, but if you had to make that call and you wanted to give people the option to call,
right?
I think a voice over IP number is pretty nifty. Can you? I was doing a little bit of research. If you don't want to pay the $10, can you save the phone number? No. If you stop paying the $10, you lose the number.
Another good reason to have that. A lot of listings out there do ask for a phone number.
A lot of them do.
But a lot of people scrape those phone numbers.
I don't think you can create it. I don't think Google My Business wants you to not have a phone number.
No, I think they do want you to have one.
I think you have to have it.
No, you don't have to have it because I didn't have it for a while, but it was like, your listing's incomplete.
Yeah.
I put it up there.
Which one, your personal?
Yeah.
Why don't you do the Sugar Marketing one?
I don't know, because what if we never got the stuff? No one's, only Yext and Yelp have called it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. One of the limitations that I find from voice over IP numbers, I know CallFire specifically, is if you're trying to, like, I like to keep businesses with businesses. So everything that sugar cookie marketing would fall under this phone number. However, the bank account does that 2-factor authentication. Mm-hmm. Voice over IP numbers, at least through CallFire, cannot get those verification codes.
True. So that's a pain in the buns.
Right. So now our bank accounts, our work bank accounts, Corey's got one to her cell. I got one to my cell.
Pain in the buns, especially when someone stole our money. We had no idea where the confirmations were going.
Those people were living a life for a while. So yeah, voice over IP numbers. There's plenty of options. Again, Google Voice seems pretty cool. You'd have to have a Google Workspace account, which is that whole Gmail for business, which is what we encourage people
because it looks professional. So having a professional phone number, having a professional voicemail. But if you say, I need
something up real quick, maybe CallFire is going to be your best option.
It is nice. Some people do like to call in. They do. And it's nice if they could get a branded voicemail because no one's answering the phone. Just kidding. I don't. But it's nice to get a branded voicemail that says, hey, you've reached Corrie with the crumb cookies. I'm probably busy baking right now versus my personal one, which is, hey, this is Corrie. I prefer text or
But nothing I dislike more than getting the number you're trying to reach. 5, 7,
I
1.
ain't got that kind of time.
Yeah. So I would say.
And then after it says, their voicemail is full. Have a good day.
Yeah, I'd much rather. I would say if you're trying to be professional, I would always recommend a custom email address. You can do that through Google Workspace. Yes, there's a billion other places to do it from. I like Google Suite, but when they all start talking to each other, that's where the true magic happens. When I can use Google Voice to, talk to Google Drive and things like that. Sorry. I'm eating a cookie. I paused it for a second while I gave Corey her cat back.
He's so cute. My little baby.
Okay, so voice over IP. I recommend it if your 2022 goal is to be able to scale or make yourself seem a little bit more professional or make we feel more professional. Maybe a voice over IP line is a great idea. Again, you can just rent it. Monthly, cancel whenever.
But then when you cancel, you
don't
lose
have
that
phone
number.
And plus you lose your credits too. If you did Google Voice, you wouldn't have credits.
So if you lose your phone number and then you don't change it on all your social profiles, like say if you're like, I don't want to pay for this anymore, people could be calling somebody else.
If someone knocks on that door again, I'm going to pause the podcast and find another cookie to eat.
That's how much I should pay for my cat.
I don't even remember what we were saying.
Okay, VoIP. Choose it or lose it. It's up to you.
Okay. The Cookie College. We thought it'd be a cool idea is if I taught a class every other week. That is one of the classes that we have in the college. A very abridged version. But hey, if you want to set up CallFire together, we can do that. Then I'm going to hard sell you at the end on the Cookie College. But if you're interested in learning more about the Cookie College, you can check it out at thecookie.college.com. What do they get?
Everything.
What do they not get? Great question, Heather.
All right. The Cookie College is me and Heather's.
Why did you have to breathe in?
Okay, give me that cookie. The Cookie College is made up of courses. That is the meat and taters that you guys are paying for is these courses. A perk that people seem to love is the exclusive Facebook group where I give away free stuff.
So explain to us what you did this week.
Okay. What did I not do?
Okay, I'm about to buy it.
Okay, you know that Miss Cookie packaging? I ordered it way long time ago when it first entered the atmosphere, and I got it, and it was where you have these 6 mini cookies in this cute little box that says love on the front.
Okay.
I've made now 4 versions of it. We have a marker version. I've made all of the photography for that, and not just one photo. You get multiple photos.
So tell me, what do you mean I get? What do I am supposed to do with these?
Okay. Sometimes as cookiers and bakers, we have to buy a ton of this stuff to see if it even sells. That is eating your profits.
Because you think about it, 5 cookie cutters, pretend they're on Etsy, it was what, $50?
That's $10 each, probably $5 each. So
okay,
$25.
So we got $25. Then you have to buy the pack of edible markers, right?
The pack of edible markers plus the shipping.
You know how much the box is? What's a minimum order? That's the risky part.
10
is buying
was
this
the minimum order. It was $27, I think, for 10, but then shipping was on top of that. So roughly, you're almost at $4 something per box.
So you have to sell them now that you have that much skin in the game. You have to create
And what's very
it all.
hard is you want to only buy 10 because what if you don't sell even 10?
But what if you sell more than 10? Then you won't be able to get the box.
Shipping again if you do get that.
So do you buy? So that's what kind of happened with Corrie. She accidentally bought these BRP boxes with the Spideys
Yeah, the
on them.
Spider-Man boxes.
And now there's like a jillion of them. They're huge as well.
Yeah. I didn't know the size. I don't measure anything in my life.
Corrie, measure 0, cut 3 times.
Okay, so that is what it saves you. You can use these photos to gauge your audience. Like, hey, who would want to buy these if I offer it at Valentine's Day? If you get 10 people to say, hey, I want to buy 10, then you know, okay, you can invest in them.
But you give them the links to the cutters that you use in the photos.
Absolutely. I give you all the links to everything I use in the photos. So if you want to replicate it 100%, you can. But it also saves you money because you do not have to buy everything up front. So you do not have to spend the money on missed cookie packaging and not sell anything and then have those boxes for another year, which is so annoying. Like the Spider-Man boxes. Which are in my basement.
Yeah, they're also in this basement. They're everywhere. They're taking over our lives.
So then say if you only have markers. I did a edible marker version. Heather then photoshopped the marker red in case you only had red markers. Then I did a paint your own palette version with both the Valentine's Day palette from Cookie Countess and the Easter palette, because what if you only have one of each and you don't want to go spend more? Both of those palette colors work for it. Then I did a DIY kit version of it. There's 4 different versions that you can sell these missed cookie packaging. So if you order 25, I swear, if you join the Cookie College, you could probably sell 25. That's what you get.
I was like out of breath. Okay.
I am.
Great. Thank you so much for that hard sell. We appreciate it. But I'll add that class so you guys we'll set up a call fire account together.
Okay. Voicemails. Okay, voicemail number 1, 661 from a Jen out there. Hi, Jen. It says hi. Hi.
This is her
comma.
text.
Jen from San Diego again. Another silly question. When I'm on the group page, people often include in their post picture for tax. Can you please explain?
That's a great question. So if you see a lot of people post in the group, they'll ask a question that has nothing to do with the image. But at the very bottom of their question, they'll say, pick for tax or pick for Zucky. Things like that.
Here you go.
So in marketing, we're constantly trying to create engagement. And Facebook realizes that a majority of engagement is when it's attached to an image. So when we upload a post with an image, it attracts more people's attention. When we get more people's attention, Zuckerberg lets that post reach further. When you ask a question that doesn't have a picture associated with it, it's just a piece of text.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot to attract people to it, which is why you've seen Facebook introduce those backers for text. Backgrounds. Because that is an image that draws our eyes towards it. So what people in the group are doing is they're trying to manipulate the algorithm to get their question out to more people. And they're doing that by posting creative images.
And a photo makes your post a lot longer. So if we're scrolling a mile a minute, your post has the opportunity to stay in front of people a little bit longer. Then your image has the opportunity to catch their eye, and then they'll probably scroll up because we all nosy and read what you have to say, even if it has nothing to do with the image. And then your question won't be getting answered because someone will say, where did you get that cutter?
If you guys want a couple more tips, like groups suffer from the algorithm restriction as well, but a lot of people don't write in groups like they're trying to reach more people. So recommendations that I have is put your too long didn't read, here's my question right at the top. Then add some line breaks and some emojis, because even if we're doing this to try to get our customers' eyes on our pages, and you're trying to get another Sugar Cookie marketing member's eyes on your question, the same rules apply. So a really, really well done photo or a humorous photo.
I saw it in my feed because I'm just randomly, everything gets thrown in my feed of my fake account because it's no rhyme, no reason. Someone had all their pre-sales in one post, but the pricing for each pre-sale, the minimums, the maximums, and the post was so long. It took me a minute to get by it. But what if instead of posting all that detail, because only if I'm buying something, maybe one thing is going to, if you said, details in the comments. So your post, your majority sales thing, like, hey, buy this, it'll run out by Wednesday. And then details and pricing in the comments.
I agree.
Forcing engagement, because you'll have to expand the comments. Read there, they'll spend more time with your post.
True.
And it makes it digestible.
Amen. A digestible, and that's a keyword. truncation. Truncation is a fancy way of saying that Facebook's added the see more to your post. Your most important subject line or your hook needs to be before your post is truncated.
That used to be 5 sentences in, now it's only 3.
Right. So make that very first sentence the most important of your group post. If you're posting in a sugar cookie marketing group, if you've written 5 sentences and not hit that enter button once, I would challenge you to go back and see where you can put in a line break, which is hitting the enter button or the return button on your mobile phone. When you create a huge wall of text, you are going out of your way to thwart your own reach. Unless that post is highly controversial wall of text, it's not going to perform as well. And in groups, you got to fight the algorithm too. Corrie and I are constantly fighting the algorithm in our own group.
If you just want to just negate everything Heather said, start your post off with, am I wrong? Am I the wrong one in here?
Say, am I the only one who
thinks this way? Is my customer right for saying that?
Right? I can't believe she said this to me. So those controversial phrases really get people's attention.
Suck people in. All I need to read is that first sentence and I'm a hook, line, and singer.
Yeah. If you're uploading 5 images to one post, I'm going to say you're hurting yourself there too. Make it a single image if you really want to do well. If you upload a video, bless your little soul.
For some odd reason, Facebook doesn't love it.
It doesn't like videos in groups at all.
I think they want you to be post
either
reels
live
to Instagram.
Yes.
Or do a live in a group.
Right. That's a good question. Voicemail 2 is from Jen. Also, this was her first text. Sorry. She sent 2. Hi, this is Jen from San Diego. Loving the podcast and trying to catch up on all the missed lives. My question is, if I would love to have a pop-up but don't want folks coming to my porch due to HOA limitations, how do I choose a great place that won't turn people off? Thanks in advance and keep them coming. Great question. So we have had a couple people do lives on pop-ups in the group. One unique thing was a lady, Gina Marie Burke. She partnered with a friend across town and they used both of their porches. Granted, that is 2 porches, but she wanted to be able to reach her whole town at one pop-up. I think it was a pop-up and she advertised both locations.
Yes. So you could either pick up from one location that was closer to you or pick up from her location at her house.
Now, a great option is partnering with a coffee shop and having them and you market foot traffic. So what the coffee shop needs is people to come in. You're saying, hey, I'm marketing this to my audience. I'll bring people in here and I'll sell my cookies there. Do check with your state cottage food laws because not all states allow that. A lot of people require that you can sell anywhere. You just have to be the person who sells it. You can't wholesale it to the cafe and you'd have to use 2 different point of sales.
Or you sometimes, if you have an HOA, you also have a community house, where usually the pool is located. You could also ask them, hey, is this a possibility? I live in this community. I pay the HOA fee. Could I set my pop-up at the community location because it's a central location to you?
That'd be a great one. Then you get to advertise the community and use their facility. A lot of those HOA buildings are really nice.
Room is $200 for every 30 minutes.
But yeah, there's a lot of options. If you don't want people coming to your house, could you partner with somebody else's house? Yes, that's an option. If the HOA is super strict, a lot of people I see who do that have apartments. And, it's hard to get people it's hard to direct people in an apartment anyways.
There's no parking. Usually it's all reserved and you don't want to make your neighbors mad.
Yeah, so see if you can team up with a business that needs foot traffic. We see a lot of success when people do it with cafes, small restaurants, or those boutiques, like cute boutiques that sell,
right.
Yeah, those ones seem to do really well. Kind of write your email.
Wineries.
That's a good one. Write your email in the way to solicit these locations. Write it in a way that you'll bring benefit to them. Don't write what you need.
Yeah, like I need money and I need you to help facilitate that.
Yeah, like they don't care so much that your HOA is really strict. They care more about how much foot traffic you can bring and how you're planning to promote this.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So this last one, I'm going to just summarize it. Mandy from Cookie Whipped, she said in a past podcast summarizing, we had pushed people towards computers. There's no way that I can do my business solely from a phone, definitely not from an iPad. I have to have a computer, and at that, a very high-powered computer because I like to leave all the applications open at the same time.
And Heather, Photoshop is a big application.
So she's saying, I have a struggle because I'm taking these photos now. I'm having to email them back and forth to myself. I'm having to download them. It's taking up space. My husband's iCloud is already full. What should I do? Google Photos is, again, back in the Google ethos, you're living in Google. My phone is automatically backed up to Google Photos. At any time that I'm connected to a Wi-Fi network, I can go to my computer, pull up my photos, and I can pull up and organize those photos in albums. Is it free? No, nothing. Once you're a small business, welcome. Nothing in your life is free ever again. But
It's not expensive, though.
It's not expensive. It's not cost prohibitive. Another option is Dropbox, especially if you're images only. That's paid as well. Subscription.
I think I prefer Google Photos over that.
I do. Google Photos was free and then switched, so that's why it kind of threw people a little bit.
Oh, you have Google. It just.
Oh, sorry. He's not. We still love you.
I have an Alexa household.
We are in Google over here. So my recommendation is, you could use an external hard drive, which isn't going to mitigate that upload and download process. Most of my stuff is stored in an external hard drive. I run the risk that if there's ever a fire or water loss, those things are gone. The cloud, which is just another computer somewhere else that's backed up in another somewhere else, that one is a very safe storage. Again, I would recommend if your iCloud is pretty maxed out, you probably have a bunch of they call it data clutter.
Yeah.
Clean that out. Delete it. If you're not going to use that file, same way if you're not going to wear the shirt in your closet, you're not going to open that file again, delete it.
It's so hard to do.
That's the best thing is like when people finally their computer just dies. It was
well.
the computer saying you didn't need it. So yeah, I always encourage people to keep their stuff. Corrie and I use Photoshop and Lightroom. We can store our files in the cloud and access them at another data point. Like I can go to another computer, log into Adobe, and get access to those PSD files, which are chunky files.
Yeah. She ends it with, neither of you are my favorite twin because I am a number 9 on the Enneagram, the peacemaker, and I can't for the life of me choose favorites.
Nice. Oh, Mandy, this is Heather, and I answered your question.
If you would like to call or text in, as we covered
On a
before,
VoIP.
we will not answer.
We'd like to experience VoIP in person.
It's 571-556-5644. But honestly, if you would like to experience what it is, call and leave a voicemail. Oh, yeah. You have to leave a voicemail because it does.
Here's another thing. If you text in, you get an autoresponder from me. That's, again, through voice over IP.
Truly us. We're not there.
It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice that I don't have to reply to any of the texts.
So you can, if you don't have VoIP access, email us at hello@sugarcookiemarketing.com. Or shoot us a text or VoIP at 571-556-5644.
VoIP. Okay, group stuff. We had some lives this past week, and we have some lives coming. The past week is using Wet on Wet with Royal Icing with Amy Glendining.
Glendining.
No, Dinning.
There's 2 N.
Yeah, Dining has one.
Oh, Glendining.
Okay.
Glendining.
Amy, if you're listening. Amy, poor Amy. I did not read. Corrie just said there's a Facebook Live tonight, I think. So Amy, I just threw it up there from my phone.
I think there's I said Amy volunteered to do this live. A lot of people want it. It's definitely either tonight or tomorrow. I cannot remember.
So I'm like, well, if she's that pressed, it must be tonight. So I posted all. And then poor Amy's like, it is not tonight.
She said, I'm girding my loins. I'm ready if you are.
Bless that poor lady. Starting a blog with Mary Garcia. Mary's blog is wildly impressive. If you wanted to take a class, if you were interested in a blog or how SEO is affected by a blog, definitely go check that one out. She did it live. Also, her photography is, dare I say, amazingly stunning.
Yeah.
Is really good. I know. We have to tell them. And then learn more about
the Cookie College membership. It was on the list. It was on the list, man.
We have some ones coming up. What is it? This is today. Today is Tuesday.
Let me just refer. If you would like to learn more about the Cookie College membership.
Oh my goodness.
Heather did host a live about it. Where she goes over. What did you go over?
Everything from what you get to what you expect to how billing works to how the courses drop and things like that and commonly asked questions and how to cancel. God forbid you'd want to do that.
All right, we have some upcoming events. We have a transitioning from cottage food to commercial kitchen with Kelly, and that is today, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, EST.
Yeah, and then we have watercolor theory with Kathy. That is Thursday. She's very excited about that.
Her last name?
Nope. Oh, Esterly. Sorry, Kathy. There's no way Corrie put me on blast. Esterl. Oysterl. I'm sorry, Kathy. Corrie Mira has no leg to stand on.
Allergy friendly and vegan baking. This chick, how old is she?
I think she's 15.
She is a force to be reckoned with.
I think this is her class for her entrepreneurial course. She's teaching us how she went about starting her vegan and allergy-friendly bakery, and that is Thursday at 7:30. That'll be
for a
really
lot,
cute.
yeah.
Or, she's so young, she's not on Facebook, so we have to tag her mom. But she'll be doing it. That'll be
I can't
cute.
wait. We don't have any group challenges right now, just because busy season's
The only group
abroad.
challenge you have is Corey getting to the mailbag. That's it. That's still for
Can
you.
she do it? Will she do it?
For Twinterest, Corey and I were trying to think about what our Twinterest were. I got the CharaChorder in the mail, that weird typewriter.
It's a weird keyboard, and it only has 5 keys. Well, I saw the thumb is 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
for each hand.
7 buttons for each hand, and it makes a whole keyboard.
And a mouse and a number pad and everything.
But it's pure memorization because every direction you move your fingers creates a word, letter
So up,
combination.
down, right, left, and then pressing down. Those are all the keystrokes for each button, and then you have 7 buttons. So they said the concept being when you press like 7 buttons at the same time, it'll create the actual word. So you can type faster than the speed
you have to memorize
of
1
font.
million combinations.
But look at the QWERTY keyboard. The QWERTY keyboard, guys, some keyboard facts for you, was designed by somebody who was creating the typewriter. But because the typewriter was a manual entry, when 2 keys that were used really close to each other were pressed at the same time, it would error. It would cause it to jam up.
Yeah.
So they designed the QWERTY keyboard so that those keys were as far away from each other as possible to slow you down. So it's literally designed to slow you down.
I was wondering why it's not just like in alphabetical order.
Do you know why it's called a QWERTY keyboard?
No.
You don't?
Do I want to know?
Do you know why it's called the QWERTY keyboard?
No.
Read these letters right here. The first set of letters. starting with
QWERTY!
QWERTY.
When she said QWERTY keyboard, I was looking at her like I knew what she was talking about, but she just means a regular keyboard.
But there's other keyboards that aren't set like this. So you'd say I'm using a QWERTY keyboard in case somebody...
I've only ever seen a QWERTY
Wait,
keyboard.
you also don't know what QWERTY means.
No, I do.
Okay, that takes us to Twinterest. Our sponsors is Eddie, the edible printer. We need some Eddie orders. Eddie Juarez. What cool stuff have you seen in the Eddie group that they've been doing? I saw somebody print on a zucchini.
I saw that too.
It did.
My
Not sure
fake
why.
account, which is not my real account, is not been
You're not
accepted
in the
into
Eddie group? Well, we are just having a ball over there. So it's so funny. I was talking to somebody. I don't remember who it was.
Hey, I should do hearts and you print notebook paper on it and I can get rid of some of the edible markers.
Oh, let's do that.
Okay.
Make them bigger hearts than the tinier
Like
hearts.
huge hearts?
I think that'd be cute.
Like
Right,
how
love
big?
notes. I don't know. How big of a heart do you have? Your personal heart's small.
Grinch.
Like how big? I don't know.
I could do it
3.5?
like this.
That'd be cute.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do our notebook Eddie hearts. That'll be
Then
cute.
I got these from Target, and Walmart has them. Walmart has them for $1. Target has them for $3. Is these tiny
Mailboxes?
little mailboxes.
Those are
So a
cute.
letter to your sweet.
So then I guess the heart thing would have to fit in there.
True. I'll
Okay.
do that when we go.
That's good. If you don't know what Eddie is, no, we aren't naming inanimate objects QWERTY and Eddie. Eddie is an edible food printer, FDA approved. You print directly onto a cookie with Edward.
So think to never have to bring out an airbrush, buy a million stencils. That's what your life could be with Eddie.
Right. Is he cheap? No, but none of the good men are.
It's an investment. Just
Right.
like
Eddie knows his worth. Anyways, if you're interested in learning more about Eddie, unlike Corey Mira's account who can't get in, join the Facebook group Eddie. I think it's Eddie. It's a longer phrase than that, but I link to it a lot in the group.
Isn't Eddie the edible printer?
User printers.
User
group.
group.
Yeah, something like that. So type in the word Eddie, user, and group and see what comes up. If it's a group of men named Eddie, you're in the wrong place. Okay, take us through the next one.
We have Bakety Bake.
Did she restock?
I'm going to look right now.
Bakety Bake creates, her name's Courtney Post. Courtney makes this really nice meringue powder that is kind of like has
1 pound in stock, 5 pound out of stock.
Sweaty. So the code is twins at checkout. They did have to raise their prices because the cost of everything has risen exponentially. But if you use code twins at checkout on the 5 pound bag, doesn't it take it back to a discounted price?
Yes.
But it has all the stuff in it. I'm not the baking twin.
Let
I'm
me
just making
see.
up words.
I know. I'm just trying to see.
I'm looking at Corey
kinda
desperately, and she's not. She's looking at her QWERTY keyboard.
Twins off of it's $28.99 for a pound. If you use the discount code twins, it saves you $2.89. For some odd reason, it says my shipping is free, and I'm not quite sure why. So you'd end up paying $26.
Is that pre-order?
No, it just looks like it would send right out.
Okay. Well, maybe there's a glitch in the system, so everyone run. Don't walk. to get
Is
the
it?
blood. I don't know.
I'm about to buy it.
Really? How much do you
it.
have left?
Oh, I have a ton, so I'm not going to buy
Okay.
it. I'll leave it for you guys. But Royal Batch is the meringue powder by Bakety Bakes. She's a cookier over in Idaho, but she happened to...
What'd you just call?
Idaho. Yeah. If you know, remember back to the beginning. I'd rather fix my keyboard. McQwerty. But this meringue powder was awesome. When she sent it in for us to just test when we were seeing if she would make a good sponsor for the podcast, I had low expectations.
What?
I didn't know. I don't
The
like
bar
change.
is at the ground, folks.
But I tried it. And guys, I have always seen people write on cookies with fine tip edible markers. And when I tried it, I poked through 1 zillion times. And nothing kind of is more sad when you're finished and you're just adding the cute details and you see this hole punch through the top of your icing. So I just thought, it's never going to be for me. I've tried a bunch of meringue powders and they all did that. So I said, that's fine. I'll just be jealous and hate everybody but myself. So then I tried Bakety Bakes and I said, you know what? Yeah. I said, you know what? I'm going to just try it, just see. Me and my sister wrote on 500 mini
Not
hearts.
the sister, guys. Don't get hurt.
And not one poke through. And then I made this whole rendition of this funny cartoon dollar bill.
that was cute.
Most of it was written in edible marker and not one issue with it. So I really enjoyed it. People who have used it have loved it. She did have a sample pack, but they ran out of the sample packs. So if you want to jump on, she's usually sold out, but she has this 1 pound bag I'm getting ready to buy. Watch me buy it and it'll be like the last one. But she has 1 pound in stock. 5 pounds out of stock, but just give it a try, and I swear you are going to love it as much as I love it.
Now, our last and final, but not least, sponsor is Cast Iron. It is a website platform made for home-based producers. And I say that because they say, like, Heather, we do more than just sugar cookies. You could sell cupcakes and hot sauces and kombucha and sourdough.
Yeah.
I know. But they've really taken out the complexity and confusion of building a website. If you need to make a sale and you want to sell tomorrow, a lot of people get hung up. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
A lot of people get hung up with like, well, it's not working perfectly. I don't know how to make it do this. A lot of websites are built for e-commerce. Like I'm going to buy a pair of leggings online. Mm-hmm. Now to take that leggings platform and say, I'm doing a pre-sale cookie order, not pick up a certain pickup date and all these constraints around it, that's kind of forcing the system in place to do something it's not intended to. What Cast Iron said is we're going to fix that for people so that you can do the, what's it called? Custom orders.
Yes.
You can do delivery within a certain zip code or radius, and
or
then
you can
otherwise
say no delivery or
it's really made really nice. So I'm not going to tell you their secrets, but I did have a call with Mark and Gemily. She's a gem, so I've changed her name, and they have some really neat stuff. I think if since I have been working on websites for a while, this is really valuable stuff to people. If you're new to websites, maybe a bunch of buzzwords. I'm not going to spoil their little surprise when they do announce it. But some really cool stuff coming there. The thing is, Cast Iron is free to just get started and see how it works. It's zero cost. You only pay when you make the sale, and how much you pay or how much you want to pass on to your customer, it's up to you. Mm-hmm. You can do 150 or 0%.
Yeah, half and half. You split it with them, which is pennies on the dollar, honestly, if I'm being quite honest.
I would like to tell people is like if you don't have a website, you're leaving a lot of money on the table.
1,000.
When's the last time you bought something that you didn't pay through a website portal for?
4 years ago.
Right,
It's one of those flags.
a weird
Those wooden flags.
thing, right? When someone, when you like, how do I pay? Do you have cash?
Yeah, when someone, I went to
don't.
buy this wooden flag that this guy handmade, and then I was like, okay, where do I check out? And he was like, here's my PayPal. Can you choose friends and family?
Right.
My flag?
We're in the world of talking about being professional. A website is one of those ones that I'm going to kind of say that you kind of got to have. I'm very, very pro team website. I think it is a great way to be able to direct your customers to find the products that you offer without making a wall of text in a Facebook post.
Yes. Or collecting orders via DM on Facebook. Can I just, because I've lived that life, tell you how stressful it is, and then you're scrolling the night before that orders due. Was it gold detailing they wanted? Was it silver detailing? What was the name of that person that they? What's the baby's name?
Right. Yeah. And if you can just log into a website backend and just see all that information in one nice spot, and then mark it as fulfilled, and then have their email stored in a place. So a lot of people don't grab emails if they're working out of Messenger.
No, they don't.
That's what we were talking about when we were talking about marketing. yeah, you're done. You're not talking to those people. If you lose access to your Facebook page, which is becoming more rampant,
Let me tell you.
how do you know? But yeah, I would say like if you guys could focus on a website this year in 2022, do it. And then, yeah, get that custom email, get that voice over IP number. These are just levels of professionalism that will set you apart from your competitor who's hopefully in Sugar Cookie Marketing Group as well and will also be setting themselves apart from you.
Yes. All right. That's all I got. Oh, mailbag. I'll check it.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. Happy to be back in 2022
We will try to be back next Tuesday.
with less sound effects and cat interruptions.